You get to go to Stockholm. You get to go to Great Britain. You get to continue your hot girl summer. You know what the Ukrainian men were doing? Getting fucking massacred. So let's talk about privilege.
Yes, let's talk about that. And what do you think is the motivator to what causes that? Is it these traditional values that reinforce the status quo of gender roles? That's simply a product of this thing that you're arguing for. I mean, I don't know if you're, I don't know, it doesn't, okay, I can't really necessarily say you're arguing in favor of the draft. I mean, well, you never know. But all of the stuff that you're using as counter arguments, even like the lifestyle of these OnlyFans models, it's the motivation as to why of this other thing that you're explaining, leads to male oppression, which you're right, absolutely, that is male oppression. That's exactly what that is. But like the ideas that cause that, you kind of agree with them. Oh, gender roles, oh, this and that, we have to do this. This is the result of that. Men getting massacred in mindless, violent wars because they're men and they're seen as more capable and that's what they're supposed to do. So, it just sucks, man. People don't know the things that they think and feel. Like they think that like individual opinions can just like exist like independently of each other, as if they don't somehow like all collide in some way. It's kind of like, going back to, I'm gonna shit on religion because religion's evil, it's bad, it's a tool used to control people. If you're religious, that is a foundational aspect to your means of logic and reasoning. You can't just have that as a part of you and not also have it reflect a bunch of other mindless nonsense that you believe in, right? You can't just believe in primitive superstition and not also believe in other shit that is a direct result of that primitive superstition. Like everything is connected in that way. Yet, like, what is your thesis? Are you trying to say men are more oppressed? In that way, yeah, absolutely, 100%. But in other ways, other people are oppressed in many other ways. It's just and yes, that is a rather heinous way to be. But hey, like I said, if you ever get a draft notice, like, just burn it up, flee, try to find a way out. It's either that or you go and die, or just get traumatized and then come back and then get thrown to the curb and then go homeless and then become a drug addict. Because remember, that's by design. Remember, right? All the veterans who get sucked into this evil, disgusting corporate empire, and then they get churned through this violent, meat grinder, and then they come back shell-shocked. Oh, I need help. Reasonably so, because that's how the human brain works, right? It's just natural. And then America's like, actually, we don't give a shit about you. We just told you to, we just indoctrinated you and told you to go waste your life on our behalf, and now you're scarred. And now we're not going to help you because we don't give a shit about you. We're here to make money. America is an evil colonialistic country that just goes into various impoverished nations and destroys them and siphons their natural resources from them. And that America's done that for virtually everywhere. So that's where I'm coming from as an American when contextualizing the draft. Because America's never really had a legitimate reason to draft. And the reasons in which, again, going back to World War II, the reasons weren't for ethical reasons. I mean, immediately after America started fisticuffs with Russia, right, for however long. Oh, we're gonna die! Oh, no, we're not gonna die. Oh, shit, we're all gonna explode and kill each other. Oh, you better not build those bombs because we're building these bombs. And it's a joke. Our species is a joke.
And who are the people making them go to war? Men.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Of course, she points that out, and it's not really accurate. It's not so much that they're men. They're rich and powerful men. If it were rich and powerful women, you would get the same exact thing. People are no different from each other. People are different in the same in many ways. It's crazy. It's very super complex. But it's like, it's funny, of course, she brings it up. Oh, it's a dude that does it. Yeah, it's a dude with money. If it were a female with money, or it's a dude with money and influence. If it were a female with money and influence, you'd get the same thing. You'd get the same thing. But let's ignore that, right? And then just focus on this one thing as if like this is the single answer to all of our problems in life. Because that's how life works, right? Life's that easy. Time and time again, life shows us. I'm an idiot.
And I mean, the Ukrainian military brass, or the president, they don't want to be in war. That was something that Russia instigated.
Yeah, take that. Like the Vietnam War. Like, you know, the Americans didn't really want to necessarily do it, but because rich people wanted to you know, maintain their influence, right? Western cultural values in the you know, the global sphere, and the I don't know, the global space, I guess, right? They just invaded and then got murked. America lost Vietnam, and they lost it very bad. Like, oh man, whew, sheesh. And all those people, they died for no reason. It was just because America wanted to. Yeah, here we are arguing about the validity of all these things. It's funny. Well, not really the validity, but more so its ramification, how it plays into the arguments of, you know, the oppression Olympics crap that you guys are doing here.
So, I mean, but they have to defend their country.
Okay.
We live very, very privileged lives. Very privileged. If
Yeah, we
World War
do.
III, I'll tell you this. If World War III is around the corner, there's no feminists when Russia invades. There's no feminists when China invades.
When Russia invades.
China invades.
What does that look like? Like, geographically speaking, how would they invade? Like, remember, America's got Canada up here, Mexico down here, and then 2 oceans. Like, just water. Where are they coming from? They gonna come, are they gonna come through Canada? They gonna invade? Are they gonna come in through the sides? Are they gonna fly in on planes? Are they gonna dig a tunnel? How does America get invaded? The only thing I can see, like, without, like, especially in the modern day, like, without some foresight, how would America get invaded? Like, America can get attacked, but, like, how are they gonna pull up with ground troopers and just storm the place? If anything's gonna happen like that, which it totally could, you know, because people are shit, but, like, America's going to be taking the offensive, more than likely. Like it had in so many other ways that it invades other countries, right? Iraq and Afghanistan, right? They just went into those countries so that they can siphon their natural resources. Oh, craps! Look at, we got terrorist attacked because of our colonialistic tendencies. Screw these guys. We're gonna use it as an excuse to steal their money from them.
I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Nobody wants to go to
But
war,
what I'm saying is that
Rich and powerful people want to go to war because it's very profitable, right? And here you guys arguing over the, you know, who should go and reinforce that more. Just lemmings, dude. Like, these people are products of their environment.
all these things that you often complain about, like when shit hits the fan, we revert to our traditional gender roles.
You mean when people throw shit at the fan? That's a better way of explaining it. This stuff doesn't just happen. People cause it to happen because we suck.
You can't have feminism when there's a military conflict.
I would say y'all fought for equality for the longest time, and then society overcorrected.
Y'all, she didn't do anything. She's just regurgitating the stuff other people told her. Same way that you guys didn't do anything to help build society, or like any of those strong, intelligent, hardworking men to provide for them. You're just here reaping the benefits of other people's work. Same way that these women that are sitting across from you are reaping the benefits of the ideas that they've inherited. It's funny, right? How animals that are all on the same level try to like pedestalize each other and then look down. It's like you're all worthless, all of you. I mean, we could just keep arguing, right, about this mindless crap. Who's got it worse, right? Over stuff that directly only, affects these people, right? These people don't have to worry about whether or not they're gonna have food on the table, or if they have clean drinking water, or if they're gonna get like invaded or something by Americans. Because these are Americans.
And now women have a little bit more privilege than men do. Because like you said, men are drafted first.
That's the one reason? What? So that's it. Women have more privilege because men get drafted. It's like, I've noticed that men tend to have like fiscal privilege and women tend to have societal privilege, at least in the Western. Remember, these are Americans. If you go to the Middle East, men have all the privilege. Women are dressed up in these freaking black cloths because of stupid ass religious reasons. Like, that's like patriarchy, like ultra. Don't get me wrong, there's very much a patriarchy in America, but like there's also like you're still able to like share your opinion on things here or there depending on, you know, who it's at and what's where and when, you know, there's certain degrees. You can't really like protest, otherwise they'll label it as rioting, and then, you know, it's like screw all your crap, burn it all down, do better. Don't treat the people who build and create everything and contribute to society and work jobs to do all those things and then with absolute crap and then sort of just expect them not to like burn shit down. You don't want them to be angry at you, do better. Be a better country. But that's the one reason why women are more privileged than men. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I definitely see the skew towards women in a social context, especially in the Western world. 100% you're not wrong about that. But you're only using that, your ethnocentric view, to determine your overall opinion on everything. You're an American. This is what you've gone through. Again, go to the Middle East. Go to places in Africa. Like, you get an entirely different world. Dude, like, here's a perfect example. Like, there was a video I was watching, some Filipino women, like, it was about the passport bro culture stuff, yada yada, which we can get into that eventually once I reach a video that I feel like is worthy enough to bring up that subject. But point is, they were talking about how, like, they got, like, past at the age of, like 25, they still got curfews, they gotta wear, like, they've never worn, like, bathing suits, that they have to like ask their father permission before they go out. It's like it's just random. Wherever you go, pick your poison on the random bullshit they believe in.
What kind of families do you come from?
It's a little traditional. They're still allowing me to go outside, hang out with my friends at night, but I have a 10 p.m. curfew.
Okay.
You know.
I also came from a very traditional family where I am also being, what do you call this in English? You are being spanked if you go. Yes, if you go out without telling your parents, and you will go home late, of course.
Well, same with Candice and Angie. My parents is very traditional, where we do things that they are not aware of it. We are
And you get
going-
spanked
yes.
as well?
Mostly we like this, and they put some books on our hand.
Okay.
Yes.
So they do that at home, like they're asking you to sit on the air because
Yes.
you've been a bad girl.
Yes.
You come over to the West, right? 6 foot tall, you gotta make six figures, I gotta reap the benefits of you playing your masculine role while I do nothing and be worthless like that. Those are Western cultural values. Yet, because you're super short-sighted American, right? You only see this, you're gonna use that as sort of the how it works everywhere. No, man, go somewhere else. Interact with people in other places where they're not a bunch of dumbass Americans with a bunch of dumbass American values. And you'll see, things are much more nuanced than you think. And I'm saying this based off of research. I haven't actually, I'm a stupid ass ethnocentric American. I want to like travel around and go see things instead of live in this goddamn slave state. But because this guy has only ever been here in this slave state, that's all he's ever going to use as his frame of reference, right? These people are so ignorant. Why don't you guys ever just doubt the things that you believe in, right? Or doubt the things that you see, or the things that people do. Instead, you're all just getting into your little groups and just agreeing with each other.
Now listen, I'm not. Women were
draft's still
absolutely.
a thing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look-
They'll never
They
war.
were.
Look in
I
front
thought-
of you.
No, I'm just asking, like genuinely asking, because I thought like the military was so big they didn't have to do drafts anymore.
When it comes to World War III, they're gonna have to draft.
There would be a draft.
In any war, there's
also,
draft.
also, even if the likelihood, there hasn't been a draft in a long time, however, there are still men alive today that were drafted. Many of those men got sent to Korea, got sent to Vietnam. Those men came back with catastrophic post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh yeah, and then they were kicked to the curb by the very government that conscribed them. I don't know if I'm using that word right. That drafted them. And they weren't given the right rehabilitation means, they weren't given the right resources. They were cannon fodder by an evil corporate empire that destroys things. So maybe, draft-wise, we should just think that it's mindless nonsense because it's not there for right and wrong. It's just based on whatever government tells you to do, whatever, whenever.
they saw horrific things. I don't know why the fuck we were in Vietnam to begin with. That's a whole nother conversation.
To prevent the spread of communism, it was the Red Scare, right? America was so afraid that they'd get more people to, the communists would get more people to agree with them, and then they'd all get together in their little groups and be like, hey, let's destroy America. Yes, the communist revolution, right? That's why every dumbass American, they always throw around the term, communism when you're ever arguing or something, right? It's a buzzword, right? It's like Republican or liberal. It's just as frequent as that, because it's just words, like part of our culture. I'm not gonna sit here and act as if I have all the best. I'm telling you from what I've experienced. Like the amount of times people throw around these types of words it's ridiculous, right? A conservative calling I'm not even gonna somebody. Yeah, I don't like, because remember, Americans, right? They see left and right. That's all they see, right? Someone calling somebody else a communist is like calling somebody else a Nazi, right? It's just like, oh, we're just using these things that we sort of have these loosely defined images of in our head that we can just, cool words we can throw around,
But there are other, if you don't, as a man, if you don't register for the selective service, if you don't register for the draft, it's technically a felony. You can get fined $250,000. Also, if you don't register, you can't apply for federal student aid. You can't get like student loans or whatever. Also, you're barred from certain federal jobs if you don't register for the selective service as a man. There is no equivalent requirement for women to have to register.
Yeah, just to bypass that, sign up for the draft, and if they ever hand out the draft notice, throw it in the trash, and then just leave the country. Try to, hopefully you're able to go to a place, hopefully America's not just getting bombed from everywhere, and you can at least get on a plane, right? And they don't just shoot those down, but that's the solution to that. Which is either that, would you rather die or risk getting thrown in jail? I mean, in some way, risk dying or risk getting thrown, because, you're still going to walk away with severe emotional ramifications if you decide even just to get into the military. They're going to beat you and traumatize you before even going out to war, because, the point is to rip your identity away so that you become a cog, a mindless killing machine that they just tell to go kill, and then you do it because, you don't know any better. You got battered. Watch Full Metal Jacket. So love that movie. Excellent. And it makes sense, right?
For example. So, and just to add to this thing, women were absolutely oppressed, but as were men. I don't want to make it a competition.
Finally, Brian, we could have avoided all of this, dude. I guess the point of the podcast, it's just at whatever, But why didn't you say that at the beginning? I mean, is it so that there'd be that air of contention, right? The disagreement. That's the answer.
What I guess what I'm trying to say is, and I think it's a terrible kind of shifting of history. For the longest period of time, life was so incredibly difficult for everyone. We live the most coddled, privileged, easy lives. Modernity has created the comforts of modernity cannot be understated.
Easier. Suffering is still inevitable throughout a lifetime, and people will continuously suffer. But the extent, the degree, absolutely, 100%. The modern day has allowed us to waive ourselves of a lot of the past really horrific things that people had to deal with. The fact that you can live past the age of 30 on average. The fact that most infants don't die right before they come out or during birth or right slightly after birth. Most of them, we have the means to be able to. We've improved our lives substantially as a species. Humanity has improved the landscapes substantially through a technological perspective. In terms of values, that's always just fluctuating, sort of just time and place wherever you're at.
Life was brutal even 100, 200 years ago. It was difficult.
Life still is brutal.
Think about the things we take for granted. Electricity, plumbing, running water, hot water, showers 200 years ago. Imagine, bro, people get grumpy if they can't have a hot shower after a couple days. Shower their entire life. So it's just, what I'm trying to arrive at is that life was incredibly difficult for both men and women. Men and women fundamentally were partners. Men and women cooperated throughout all human history. And I think it's a disastrous retelling of history to say men oppressed women, women were the oppressed. It teaches women to basically have contempt for and hatred for men, when in reality it was a very small, very, very small percentage of men. And it's not necessarily because they were men that had all the power.
Yeah, true. But as an explanation as to why she believes in what she believes in, it's kind of caused by those same men in positions of power. Like, they're the ones cultivating the ideas of the people you're arguing against right now. They're the ones telling them to believe in this stuff because there's a monetary incentive for it, right? So at the end of the day, that is that group. It's the people who have it's the people with the highest capacity for violence and brutality and influence, right? Those are the people all throughout history, always. It's like they're always the ones that destroy everything and ruin everything for everyone else. It's always the ultra wealthy. Always. Every single point in life, with every war, every genocide, every mindless backward value that's, reverberating through a society or a culture. Like, those things something needs to cause that, right? These things don't just swell, right? There has to be some coordinated effort towards some particular thing.
Women had it hard in their own unique ways. Men have had it hard in their own unique ways. But I don't like this retelling of history that men were always the oppressor and women were the oppressed. Martin, thank you, man.
Nanny, you probably don't have to explain yourself to the kids you care for.
Yeah, that chat thing is literally only there just so that the girls get roasted by people. Substantiate them. You're just saying that they're wrong, but you're not like arguing. You're just saying they're wrong. You can't go around saying things, unsubstantiated claims. Of course you can. She's on the podcast and you aren't, and you're paying to get your opinion on the podcast. The podcast that you're watching, you're spending time watching, instead of working on yourself and improving. Man, people just want to act as if like everything is where it should be, right? Things play out the way that they should because we thought about it, It's just, if things play out a certain way, then it's supposed to go that way. Why else would it play out otherwise, It's the oppressed nanny only fans girl. God bless you. Yeah, hit them with a bit of that archaic delusion at the end of it. Yeah, it totally makes what you have to say legitimate.
God bless you.
Yo, Martin, thank you, man.
Yo, Martin, thanks for the free money. And keep giving us your free money because, we like money. And it grants us a life of autonomy. We want to become part of that demographic that isn't oppressed by the ultra wealthy, right? We want to just like be void of it. You guys, you figure it out, At whatever. It's just at whatever, I don't know. There's definitely more clips of that I could react to. I feel like that's there's kind of endless amounts of content right there, and there's like a lot of things that go wrong. And I think I should see if I can find some of the videos with some like more spicy, juicy arguments, and get some more wacko doo-doo people on and react to whatever it is that bullcrap that they have to say. But yeah, final thoughts. I don't know. Like, at least at the very end, somebody was able to, like, Brian, at least at the end, his concluding statement was fair and rational, right? Like, hey, men and women, like, they were oppressed and things are crappy. It's just oppressed in different ways and things are kind of just crappy overall. It's like, yeah, there you go, right? But, like, again, you can't really expect that to not really... That kind of needs to be said, given the types of people that you're bringing onto the program, right? If they're sharing all these mindless backwards opinions, it's like, that's Brian chose that, dude. The point is to like get all these people on and then to have all these ideas floating around within these contemporary, Western, colliding values, all be displayed on a platform such as a podcast, right? I know some of these podcasts are like hours and hours long, which it takes time and effort and work. But I don't know. I feel like that show or that podcast is solely just a symptom of the current times, There's all sorts of podcasts like that. Other ones of which are considerably worse. You probably know what I'm talking about, huh? Fresh and funky.